Alright guys, Crazymoving versus Nony. Game 2 is live, so no replay cast, nothing pre-recorded.
It's not even that funny.
No, it's not at all.
Oh yeah, well, lots of good games coming up.
You just let me ramble.
It's really funny though, because sometimes you just go, and then it's just you never know where he's gonna end. It's like he starts off at replay, ends up at crocodile.
Interesting little message there by Crazymoving. Thanks his emotion, which I believe is a female photographer. I could be wrong.
Yep. Happy birthday! Thank you for everything, and give me monthly pay, please. All right. Well, cool.
And Zara's decided to comment on that.
Yep. Must be back from stealing chairs. Long enough to type a message. And all right, let's focus. Crazymoving versus
Nony.
Nony is the game.
I don't know why Zeros is talking
Yeah, he's
in
very
this game.
chatty today.
I'm gonna call a meeting on this tomorrow. No, seriously, I'm pissed
When Roddy
off.
calls a meeting, it's serious business.
Yeah.
Nobody chats when I'm casting.
No, it's not about I'm casting. I think it's disrespectful to us players. But we can do that tomorrow, Ben. I will say that tomorrow in all the meetings. You did not just hear me say that.
In all the meetings.
Yes, tomorrow I'll call all the meetings. Once more, Gateway on the high ground. And,
it's really funny because like sometimes Kev, like something will be going on and Kev will just get up like really mad. I'm like, what is it? He's like, I'm calling a meeting tomorrow. It's like, why? It's like, somebody took my chair again. It's like, well, you know, it was Duran.
Actually, it's not. There's a really funny story. I'm not sure if I can share it on screen. I mean, I can share it. But
you can share. You just got to change the language a little bit.
I just got to change the language. All right. I'm going to tell you guys about it as soon as I tell you guys through the build. There's once more Gateway on the high ground for Nony. And so far, single simulator. I do think he's just going to expand. We saw Nony play that excellent game against Dark Force on Antiga Shipyard. Hopefully, he's going to be able to pull off something similar. Crazymoving is going for the same build as well once more. Went hedge first. Followed up with 16 pool and a pretty quick extractor, so maybe we're going to see a similar playstyle out of Crazymoving. He's like, wait, that worked pretty well once, and that's going to work well against.
No, more than that, I think as a Korean player, he's one of those Koreans with a reputation for studying his opponents, and maybe he's worked out a way to punish this style of Nony's, which is kind of, I mean, he's not exactly known for it, but people kind of know that he doesn't like to forward expand.
Yeah, and if you watched him play against Dark Force, the speedling build is a lot better than against the way that Nony plays than this standard 3-hedge, let's not take no gas, even though of course you can pull it off as well, because if you see Silvano play, any gateway pressure is no problem. But yeah, this makes it a lot easier. I mean, speedlings are awesome in dealing with low amounts of gateway units. Anyway, the little chess story is that I walked in the office and I got really annoyed when I just started working at the NASL. Every single day I walked in and I was ready to play some ladder games or just do some research, whatever. My chair was gone. And this was actually not a Duran joke, because it's not Duran, but I was starting to get really annoyed because people just kept taking my chair. And then this one morning I said, if someone takes my chair one more time, I'm going to be really mad. And then like 3 days later I walk in the office, my chair is gone again. So I'm like, who the F took my chair? And then there is this like really cute old lady who's like 55 years old in the corner of our office. That would be me. And I was like, oh. She's like, do you want your chair back? I was like, no. Keep it.
It's like this little lady that comes in to do the books or something, just kind of sitting off it. Nobody really knows what she does.
No, I felt really bad.
But
I was ready to curse at someone of my age, but not to an elderly woman.
The old lady. He's so mean, Kev.
Yeah, that was bad. That was very unlike me. Anyways, we see speed is almost ready once more for Crazymoving.
Yep, almost ready, but no big swell of Zerglings this time.
I like it a lot, because I mean, he's going to have the map control that speedlings will give you, but he's still going for pretty quick 3 bases. And after that game 1, you have to be afraid for a similar scenario as what happened on dual side if you are Nony. So I don't think Nony is going to be aggressive at all. He's just going to sit back, and then I think Crazymoving can take a really healthy economic lead.
Yeah, I love getting speed faster than guys like Stefano. Stefano has popularized this gasless for a long time, straight into Roach's style. But speed just gives you so much flexibility for things like map control. Oh, you can even do things like this, just running past, Nony missing the opportunity to drop force fields. Crazymoving can confirm that there is a... Nony, come on, man. Lifts the Lings all the way up into his base, and now Crazymoving knows everything. I would think that that would have been worth at least 1 force field. So great scout there, and again, made possible. This scout brought to you by Zergling Speed.
metallic boost. Not bad. Roach 1 going up for Crazymoving as well in case he's going to have to deal with a bigger gateway push. And of course, Roaches help out really well. +1 on the way for Nony. And look at this Zergling, man. This is like the happiest Zergling that I've seen since the one that was in White Rat's base.
There's a Zergling in my base. He sees everything. And he continues poking around. He's not even... Is he... Oh, no, no! Billy the Zergling!
The Zergling does fall eventually, but as you mentioned several times, he got a really great scout up. Crazymoving is not really producing a lot of drones yet. Nor did he have an additional queen there to inject straight away. He's getting 2 queens now at once.
He did make another small swell of lings, and they're just kind of poking around right now. He wants to make sure that he maintains some vision of what's going on the map, and he sees these zealots and sentries poking out, so I guess he's going to threaten the counter. It's not going to be very successful as Nony's got a nice little wall here, sentry sitting in it. Just needs to drop a force field, and he does.
Good force field right there.
And all of a sudden, this is a pretty scary push. Zealots and sentries, and there's not a whole lot out to deal with it. There's 11 Zerglings and a handful of Roaches. I'm pretty sure that Nony can force field this ramp forever, Kev.
Forcing a cancel on that person. Yes, there he goes. Drops those force fields straight away. And I think this attack so far is really nice indeed. That force field was kind of random. He has a lot of energy, as you pointed out, and he will be able to force field this. Then again, Ben, okay, he might be able to kill this hatch.
I already know where you're going.
Where I'm going. Finish my thoughts.
Well, I mean, this army's going to die eventually. It's dead. And is a hatchery worth this many sentries and zealots?
Yeah, that's indeed where I was going. He picks up maybe those cocoons. He can pick up those oh no, that's a little bit too early. Now he won't even be able to kill all those drones. And now I think it definitely wasn't worth it.
Drones try to evacuate. They're going to come hide with the Roaches. They may actually get picked off.
Eventually.
But I mean, the point stands. There's no evacuation for these sentries unless some reinforcements show up, and I don't think that's going to happen. Nony's done a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's what I like, though. Nony is doing this. I mean, he's just going to keep doing this, and if he keeps picking up a few units one at a time, then it is going to be worth it. Nony's doing this so well.
Running into that ramp, will lose all those Roaches, but eventually he stops. But still.
Wow, that was really nice, because at the start I actually was afraid that if he would miss one force field, he wouldn't be able to kill all the drones, wouldn't be able to kill the same amount of units. They could potentially lose, finally losing one sentry, but does pick up an additional Roach. And more importantly, Ben, he's buying himself a lot of time. It's not like he loses the hatch and he's able to rebuild the hatch again straight away. No, there is no third base right now for around 2, 3, 4 minutes. And it's gonna lose those sentries right now. But still, it's 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and Crazymoving is on 2 bases. And look at the amount of money that he has.
Yep, finally the sentries are all going to be dealt with. And like you said, it's still 2 base to 2 base. This has worked out for Nony. He did make it cost effective. If you look at units lost, it's definitely in his favor. And if you look at the push that's on Crazymoving's creep, it's even better.
Yep, 7 Stalkers, 1 Immortal, 6 Sentries against 10 Roaches. That's a super good push. Now 11 more Roaches on the way though. We have a couple of Spine Crawlers as well to buy himself a little bit of time. Nony doesn't have to push right now. I really hope that Nony's not going to be over-eager and overextend himself. Just pick up a few tumors and go back, because he really doesn't have to do this until he has 4 or 5 Immortals. Yeah,
there's a lot of Roaches out, and this is enough to really punish Nony, and he doesn't seem to be looking. Oh no, the Roaches come forward. Force field are just decimating that Immortal. Force fields go down, but they're really not the best force fields. And again, the sentry count going to get beaten up badly. Roach is going to start working on Stalkers as well. Reinforcements coming for Nony, so it's not over yet, but that was a very expensive loss.
Yeah, it's far from over, and Nony can definitely still win this game. He's been doing so much right, but he didn't have to do that. If he would have waited for 2, 3 Immortals, he would have been in much better shape. Now he's going to fight it within these Spine Crawlers. I really don't think this is going to work with the reinforcements of the Zerg fighting on creep.
Man, Crazymoving making the right moves, comes right up on top of that Immortal, focuses it down very quickly, and Nony forced to back off again.
He is making the right moves, but I'm starting to feel that Nony is really throwing away this game. That push was so nice, and he did so much damage. He kept those sentries alive for such a long time, and he really held back the economy of Crazymoving. But there was no reason to go that quick. Why would you go with 1 Immortal when you can go with 3 or 4?
It was 2 base to 2 base. Nony had more workers. Now he's got a Warp Prism out, but at this point, we've pretty
lost a lot.
Yeah, Crazymoving's pretty well stabilized. He's got 30 Roaches against 8 Stalkers and an Immortal. That's not enough.
That's a healthy number if you play Zerg.
I mean, according to Kevin, I think 4 Roaches would be enough, as we do have a little bit of a replay of some of that previous action. Let's check it out. This is just Nony making that first poke. Roach is going to come forward, picking off that Immortal. You can basically see that Nony wasn't watching. The panic force field's going down. He's going to lose more sentries, more Stalkers. Really. Unfortunately played by Nony. As we jump back into the game, we can see that Tyler has taken his third base. Crazymoving has also completed his third, and he's starting to drone up once more.
Yeah, and he's getting Inspire as well, so we might see a Muda switch. And even though Blink is being researched, I think that will be pretty effective. And was just very, very unfortunate. Cannot say it enough. Like, Nony didn't have to go with that small army. If he would wait 1 minute, his army is going to be much scarier, would be a much better push.
The more I see him play this style, though, the more I think there's viability in it. These strange, like, gateway openings into these early-ish pushes that really force Zerg to make a lot of units.
But I also think it's because of the way how a lot of people play. I mean, obviously the best of the best, they will scout very often, but very good ladder players, people can be very high ladder and still play some tournaments, maybe even win some random online tournaments. I just feel people barely scout. Everybody plays really, really greedy. Certainly in tournament games, people play really greedy, and I think this is one of the reasons why that this style of Nony can be so effective, just because people blindly do what they think is best economically, but is very good against a certain playstyle, but might not be very good at a different playstyle from Nony, and with a push that hits 45 to 60 seconds earlier. But of course, that's a world of difference. It doesn't sound very long, but 45 seconds in StarCraft.
Oh man, that's an eternity.
Yeah, it is. It is an eternity.
That Muta switch is on the map right now. First 12 Mutas all kind of streaming out, and they're going to be making their way towards the main base of Liquid's Nony. And Crazymoving also has still all these roaches out, so when the army starts reacting to the Mutas, you can count on some multi-pronged roach aggression. And
this base of Nony is very, very exposed. I mean, he has a couple of Blink Stalkers, that should be enough. Yeah.
Did they fly past an observer or something?
I think, yeah, he has the observer over here, so I think he knows.
As he's already positioning some Stalkers in good places, so even in spite of some of the bad trades that Nony made there in that mid game, he's still in a pretty good position. 3 base to 3 base. Economically, he's 69 probes to 71 drones. That's great. And supply-wise, he's down 20 supply. Yeah,
against Muda, that's absolutely no problem. I'm just a little bit sad because Unit's last resource tab was pretty much even at 2300, and now if we look, he just lost 1100 more resources in that second attempt as well. There was just no need for Nony, and I don't know, I think this is going to be annoying because right now we have 15 Mudas, but 9 more Mutalisk are on the way, and I think he's just going to max out. Yeah, he's pretty much maxed out, so that is going to be 25 Mutalisk, and then you can't leave 7-8 Stalkers behind anymore. Then you're going to have to leave more behind than just that. No, he is researching Storm though.
Yeah, beyond that, he's going up the Storm. That's great. But we can see Crazymoving's also adding to that big spine crawler wall, and that becomes really complicated, especially when a Protoss player has no Colossi. First Muta's going to show up, and well, Nony's pretty well prepared for it.
Well, that's for the offensive Blink. Now he's out of range of those cannons, and Crazymoving realizing that straight away that Nony definitely needs that cannon support with a few amount of stock.
Yeah, Nony now realizing it backs up to his cannons. So nice Muta harass here.
What I just realized. Then we'd be perfect for each other and we'll never need another.
Don't forget, guys, we will be recording a music video featuring Kevin as our lead singer.
You don't know that song?
Hope y'all are excited. Oh, no, I know it. I just...
you know it? I'm surprised.
I don't know what it's called, but I've heard it before.
It's called Realize.
Smart.
By Colby Kellett or something like that.
23 Mutas making their way into the main base of Liquid Nony right now. And does Nony have enough of a defense? Well, yeah, I think he does. Storm is ready.
If only he could drop a Storm when all those Mutas are so clumped up. That would be so nice. Well, that's High Templar.
6 energy is all that he lacks. No, don't run forward, High Templar. Muta's really poking around a lot. Nony's setting up a big flank, so I guess the Mutas can't really retreat.
Storm.
Boom! Huge Storm lands on those Mutas. That's wow, Crazymoving jumps back into the fight with all these low HP Mutalisks, and he's going to continue to harass. Meanwhile, the Roach is moving forward in the center of the map.
Oh, Nony, you're going to have to be careful with those Stalkers. He doesn't have high ground vision here, man.
He can't see anything. That's not where you want to be. Hey, Nony, you're not even watching.
He's watching the Mutalisk, and he can't blink there. He doesn't have high ground vision. No, he has high ground vision.
Yeah, he does get up and loses some Stalkers. It wasn't a great trade for Nony, but it also wasn't an awful trade.
No, it wasn't that bad. Could have been a lot worse. The big problem, I feel, is that Crazymoving is just starting to secure absolute map control. He already has that hatch over here, so if this ever turns into a base trade, I mean, Crazymoving is just going to have hatches up left and right, and we already know you do not want to go into base trade scenarios against Mutalisk. Even though I still remember that game of Grubby against Violet, where Grubby did pull it off, also on Antiga Shipyard. Game that's played on the Lone Star Clash Invitational, or was played during the...
I mean, look at this army of Nony.
It's a scary army. I mean, the army is better than the army of Crazymoving. even though the roach count is climbing again. But still, I like this army more.
It's a good army. It's not great for busting spines, though. This is something that that the Stalker Immortal style is a little bit susceptible to. Roaches do force that, or I guess take out that fourth expand. I don't know if there's going to be any retreat from the third, though.
Yeah, but he might actually be able to pick up this Nexus as well. These roaches are pretty strong, have 1/1 upgrades. The roach count is dwindling, but will be more than enough to take out this Nexus. And that's a big loss for Nony.
A big loss, but I don't think it was worth it for Crazymoving. He doesn't have the kind of money that he needs to remax, Kev. He's got...
But I think he actually wants to base trade.
Oh, maybe. I'm sorry, the Mutas do manage to pick off the Templar Archives there. One Storm basically completely whiffing. I don't know. I'm just not sure that I like that choice by Crazymoving. He's going to remax on Zerglings and Mutas. And he does have money for that, so I guess it's not terrible.
Yeah. He doesn't really... he has a lot of hatcheries, but he doesn't really have a lot of drones.
Yeah, and his money is so low, Kev.
He earns 1,400 minerals a minute at 1,600 at 62 drones. It makes no sense.
I mean, with those roaches on the field, he had a really strong army, but now it's just a base race army. And while there's definitely viability to that. He's got enough bases, and it's going to be very hard
cannons, actually,
for Nony to defend. Yeah, there's cannons, there's Templar left in places.
Here, and they are in very annoying positions for Zerglings to deal. But Crazymoving doing a good job forcing Nony to retreat once more. Nony knows that a base raid scenario is possible, and he doesn't want to end up in one.
I also love that there's changelings in the army of Nony, and he doesn't seem to realize it. 3 zealots following it around.
If he just realized.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that go. It makes no difference to me.
Muta's basically cleaning up the main now, so Nony has lost a lot of pylons, a lot of gateways. There's a good storm.
He has so many storms.
A good storm, not a great storm. So it does a lot of damage, but these Muta's still going to be able to clean up a lot of these Stalkers, maybe all of these Stalkers. Nony's army is actually has initiated the base trade.
Yep. During all that, the Zerglings did take out this Nexus by Nony as well, but I want to take a look at those Stalkers. Wow, this is so many Spine Crawlers. I don't think that's a very good blink at all, Nony. He does have a couple of storms, but...
just marching right into it, but everything just getting destroyed by the Spines.
Look at the High Templar, so exposed.
Templar, Immortal, there's no Archons in the mix at all. And Nony is just going to GG there. Crazymoving does take that series. 2-0. What a weird game that was. Really weird game. I see these sparks of brilliance in Nony's play, like these really, really good things that he does, and then he makes other mistakes that I just feel like he's too good to make mistakes like that.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. He didn't seem very, perhaps, experienced in this whole scenario, because it kind of felt like in the start he already wanted to attack, but then Crazymoving did exactly what he wanted Nony to do, to come back. And in the end, Nony still did the original plan, but he actually gave Crazymoving 10 more minutes to defend against a big push. If Nony would have gone straight away, then maybe his army would have been strong enough that even if it turns into a base raid, that he could rebuild himself again on the right top side or somewhere. Yeah, perhaps a couple of wrong calls. Then again, it's really hard to play against Mudaling. And I felt that Nony didn't have to do it, because if he would have secured that fourth base, he had a lot of cannons at his third. So I think the moment he would rebuild that third base, I think he should have been fine. Then if he could control the middle of the map a little bit more, maybe get speed observers. Like, he was doing a pretty good job against the Mutas for quite a while, which is very hard.
I would have liked to have seen a couple of things done differently. I would love to have seen DTs at the side expansions, the corner expands. Yeah. I think DTs are so good against Muta, not because they do anything to the Mutas themselves, but because they kind of take back some map control. It's not like they're going to rip map control away from the guy playing Mutas, but it'll really punish somebody for not having everything set up correctly at his bases. And Crazymoving didn't have detection all around the map.
No, and very important thing about DTs as well against Mutas is that often, at least there will be some scenarios where if you have 2 or 3 DTs, it's too much for a Queen or a couple of Zerglings to deal with, that you force the Mutas to help to defend. And the moment the Mutas are defending somewhere, you don't have to worry about them in your own base, and that makes DTs very good.
It gives you time to get High Templar out, cannons up. The other thing that I want to mention just before we cut to our commercial is Colossi. I know that you don't want to play Colossus against Muta, because obviously Colossus can't do anything there, but if you're going to trade, you have to have Colossi to get through the Spine Crawlers. Otherwise, you're fighting in range of the Spines and you're taking huge amounts of damage. Yeah,
but this was not really a game where he could ever afford Colossus.
I realize that, but if you're going to trade like that, if you're going to march through that Spine Crawler wall, you've got to have 2 Colossus. It's necessary.
I'm glad you said.
At least in my opinion.
I'm glad you said realize.
Commercial break, guys. That last game brought to you by Azo monitors, the monitors that power the visuals. That would be a graphics card. The monitors that make us see things as we sit here I'm going to have to come up with a better way to plug Azo. Anyway, Azo monitors. Check them out at azo.com. We'll be back with our 4th game of the day. It's going to be Dark Force versus Damaga. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come from the NASL.